It's Saturday, and I have to work today, or depending on when you actually watch this video, I've already worked today. And let's talk about NXT and Smackdown. So, I actually got to watch Smackdown live last night, and I wanted to shoot you guys out a video early in the morning. Actually, full disclosure, I'm shooting this at after 10 on Friday night. Why? Because I want to get up a little bit later and relax a little bit before I have to go to work on Saturday. So that's the reason why the video is coming out so early. But when it gets uploaded to the channel, it'll be up after midnight. So that means it's officially Saturday. So yay! Saturday means 25, count them, 25 days till I go home again. Checking into the villas at the Grand Floridian, making a dream come true from when I was a little kid watching Full House. So yes, I'm very excited about staying at the Grand Floridian and then going from the penthouse to the proverbial outhouse, staying at All-Star Movies. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with the All-Stars. I'm not a big fan of sharing buses, but you get used to it after a while, and Movies is actually the last stop. It goes sports, music, movies. So we'll see how that works out, and I will be staying at either sports or music for September next year when I'm bringing my dad and my stepmom with me. I'm actually coming down on September 19th next year, and I'm probably going to stay at Cabana Bay. As of this moment, that's probably going to be my plan. If I can get a really good deal, I'm going to stay at Cabana Bay, and I'll be there for opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights, because rumor has it there was a release of potential dates for Halloween Horror Nights, and if these dates end up lining up, and I believe they're going to, these dates basically show us that the first weekend for Halloween Horror Nights is going to be opening on the... I gotta find it here. Hold on, where are you? Here, there you are. It opens on the 19th, and there'll be dates of the 20th, my birthday, and the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. So I will be checking in as of this very moment. I'm looking into going to Cabana Bay, and that's where the annual pass discount comes in. Smart. Owen's always thinking. So basically, I'm going to come in on Friday the 19th. I'm going to check in to my resort, probably Cabana Bay, and then I'm going to go to Halloween Horror Nights opening night, and on the 20th and the 21st, my birthday, and the Saturday, I'm going to be going to Halloween Horror Nights as well. 22nd, I'm going to take a cab over to the All-Stars, and I will check into the All-Stars, and my dad and my stepmom will join me later on in the day, and I will be there from the 22nd and checking out on the 29th. So yeah, that's the plan as of right now. So, basically, what happened today, or what happened yesterday in this case, if you're, like I said, you're watching this video later, you can say that it was yesterday. Friday's plans, after Thursday's epic fail of trying to find new shoes, in Pittsburgh, mind you, I decided to try one more time, and it was in this town, actually. So we went to the Shoe Department, and we went to Kohl's, and we went to Shoe Carnival, and we went to all the various shops in the mall, and came up with absolutely nothing. I have found out that I am a 13 4E. Well, what that is, in layman's terms, is a 13 shoe, like a size 13, and it's like extra wide. Obviously, everyone knows I have gout, so my foot kind of expands from time to time. Given that factor, I have to have wider shoes, given the fact that I'm flat-footed. I guess it's just something that kind of happened, something I was born with, nothing I can do about it. So it makes it really hard to get shoes. Now, I believe I mentioned this in the video, and if not, I don't know why I didn't. I found these really awesome Nike Air Force Ones. I did talk about it because I used the Air Force One, that went all Nelly on you guys for a second there. So basically I said that I really liked these shoes, but they were not the right size. They were narrow and not a wide, so it didn't work out. So I went and looked for more, still can't find anything. So worst comes to worst, I will be wearing the New Balance that I have in my closet that I would be wearing to work. I'll be taking those home with me this year, breaking those in for work, I guess. That might be my only option, to be totally honest. So it is technically Saturday for this video, and this is Saturday's video. Today should be the second of four sneak preview videos for the New Balance Run Disney 2014 edition shoe. And if it's what I think it is, and I think it might be the 860 but version 4. If it is the 860 version 4, it most likely will be available in not only a 13 but also a 4E. If that's the case, I will be able to purchase said Run Disney shoes. And Fit to Run just opened at Downtown Disney a couple days ago, so I'm going to go check that out when I go down. So that'll be fun. Well, so still can't find shoes, so yeah, this sucks. I hate my feet so much sometimes. I mean, if not with the arthritis, it's the fact that they're too wide and I can't wear narrow shoes, and it's really annoying because every awesome pair of shoes I found today, and any day I look for shoes, are all narrow. They're all, like, I believe they're D width, which is a medium, which is, like, regular. And I can't wear, like, narrow width shoes, which sucks because that means it makes it harder for me to find shoes. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out to you guys. Quick programming note for this week. If you noticed, I got every wrestling video out really early this week, so yay, I actually succeeded. So, tomorrow's video. Still haven't quite decided yet. Tomorrow, I will probably be putting up a walkthrough of Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh that I shot the other day. So that'll probably be up. And AJ is actually going to be thankfully returning on Sunday. So I got to work another Sunday shift. I absolutely hate working Sundays because I have so many plans on Sundays. Luckily, these last 2 weeks I haven't had plans, so it wasn't a big deal. But like in 2 weeks, for the week of the Survivor Series and the week of the WDW Today Live podcast, I'm going to have to take that day off if I have to, because I didn't think I'd have to take that off, but apparently I'm going to have to start requesting Sundays off again. So, but I do love the hours. The hours are amazing, and I don't like the placement. I don't like working Sundays, and I don't like working night shift. It's so hard to find a ride on Sundays, because everyone, Monday or any night really, because everyone knows I don't drive. So, my mom's in town right now, but she's not always going to be in town. In 2 weeks, she's actually leaving again to go to San Antonio. So, when that happens, I'm by myself again. So, luckily, I only have to work like a week and a half by myself, and then I'm back home again. So, that's awesome. So, yeah, this is a little housekeeping. I'm throwing this out at you guys. AJ's movie reviews, and we're going to be talking about Thor and probably some other assorted films he watched while he was gone. Those are going to be coming up in the next several days. Don't know exactly when. The new Versus, I'll try to get that up actually tomorrow if I possibly can, because usually Versus are on Sundays. Try to get that up tomorrow if I can. Cryptic Comet is still Ghost. To try to put that together and figure out what the Versus is going to be. The schedule will go back to normal next week. Your Cryptic Comet is actually going to be Sickness. So, yeah, AJ's movie reviews talking about Best Man Holiday and fingers crossed Nebraska is maybe even blue is the warmest color, or All is Lost. We're going to be seeing those soon too. And, of course, the Hunger Games, and then Homefront and Frozen and all sorts of things coming before I leave. So yeah, there's always that. And still waiting for 12 Years a Slave right now, because it's in limited release. About Time did not come here, but hopefully we'll get access to it sooner rather than later. So there's always that. So 9 minutes of nice housekeeping. Sorry it went so long. Like I said, we'll talk about everything else later. I don't know why I picked an NXT and Smackdown recap to throw this all out to you guys, but oh well. So in an NXT this week, well, storyline progression again. Not nearly as bad as Impact was with storyline progression, and that's not a bad thing. It's just how it works. So we start the show off with Sylvester Lefort. He's backstage, and he is trying to get some answers from the mysterious blonde that is talking to Alexander Rusev and caused him to leave the employ of the Legionnaires, basically rendering that stable dead in the water. So this still unnamed female, who of course finally gets a name on this episode is Lana, just like I mentioned numerous times, the former CJ Parker. Not CJ Parker. CJ Parker, wow. I totally got that one wrong. So, yeah. So, Lana is I don't know why I called her CJ Parker. Her name's CJ Perry. That's probably why. CJ Perry, yeah, she was in Pitch Perfect and everything. Just like I mentioned to her, like, filmography. I give, like, an IMDb bio of her a couple weeks ago on this very channel. So, yeah. So, basically, LaForte has a wad of paper money, and he's talking to Lana. He's basically wondering why she did this to him, why Rusev left his employ, and she says something in Russian. Of course, no one doesn't understand Russian, and neither does Sylvester LaForte, but he says, I don't speak Russian, and that's how we open the show. So we get our first match. Sylvester LaForte taking on Alexander Rusev. This is LaForte's first one-on-one match in NXT. So Lana actually brings out Rusev, and LaForte has the wad of paper money, and he's trying to buy off Rusev. The bell rings, and LaForte just gets not whipped into the ropes. No, he gets grabbed and tossed into the ropes. And, of course, the Vader attack, and he stuffs the money down the throat, DiBiase style, and locks in the accolade, and that's the end of the match. So, yeah, big squash for Alexander Rusev. Pretty much putting the exclamation point on the feud with Sylvester LaForte, even though what I think will end up happening somewhere down the line is going to be Scott Dawson coming back on television for the first time in weeks to get some revenge for his manager. So I think that's exactly what we're leading towards. I think Rusev and Dawson will have a match sooner rather than later. And I don't think that Lana is only going to be managing Rusev. I think there's going to be someone else in her employ as well, but I haven't quite decided yet who. So we get the beautiful, that's a shoot in Summer Rae's case, fierce females, Summer Rae and Sasha Banks, or I like to call them Summer Banks. And they're in the back, and they're talking to the adorable Bayley and Charlotte, Ric Flair's daughter. So the BFFs apologize, that's not even a word, they apologize, there, I'll get it a third time, to Bayley for breaking her headband, and they give her one that she immediately marks out for because they have kittens on them. So she pats her on the head, and Charlotte stops them and says, you know what, we've got issues with you taking over this division. And Bayley's like, no, they're really cool and everything. And obviously she's brainwashed by the fact she's got a brand new headband. It's kind of like a little pretty pet for her. So Bayley tries to play peacemaker as the BFFs battle with Charlotte, and this sets up a match that is announced later on the show. It's going to be Bayley and Charlotte taking on the beautiful, fierce females, Summer Rae and Sasha Banks, Summer Banks I like to call them. This is the match that I know about what happens, and obviously they're building towards that Bayley is offered a spot in the BFFs, and yeah, we'll see where this goes. I know where this goes, but I'm kind of playing dumb here because if it didn't happen on television yet, it didn't necessarily happen. Even though I've been calling her Lana for weeks, and this is actually the first time she's actually referred to by name, still, I'm not really talking about these matches unless they have aired on television. So yes, that match that I know exactly what the finish is going to be, and that's going to end up on next week's NXT. So we actually get our return of Leo Kruger, and it's really nice seeing Leo Kruger in the ring again. It looked like he was going to end up joining the Real Americans. They were doing the storyline with him and Cesaro and Swagger, and even Zeb Coulter got brought in, and I think that might be dead in the water as well. This time he's back, and he's back up against El Local, who of course is Ricardo Rodriguez under a mask. You can obviously tell it's him because he's got a tattoo on his arm with an R on it, so obviously that just gives him away to everyone. So again, not whip in, he just pushes him into the ropes, and he nails him with a big spine buster. Does Leo Kruger 1-2, and Local kicks out. So he whips him into the knee, like the short whip into a knee lift, and he does it 3 different times, and then a whip in, and Local gets up the back elbow. He charges in, and Local gets the boot up, and he goes to the middle rope to try to get some offense in. Of course, he gets pulled off and hits the canvas hard. So he tosses him upside down to the opposite corner, and he charges in, nails the slice onto El Local and a snap suplex, and then another one in succession. He goes for the third time, and he traps him in a double underhook with a body scissors. Basically, he pulls up on the arms. I've actually done this before. He double underhooks the arms, and he pulls up on him with the head is underneath the arm, and is basically putting a lot of pressure on the neck, and of course that causes for the tap out, and of course he keeps him completely stationary by locking on the body scissors as well. So Kruger gets the win with a new finish, and we'll see what happens with him. Leo Kruger hopefully will be something big in this next season of NXT, because Leo Kruger is actually had a great feud, and I really think that he would be awesome in NXT. Not necessarily ready for WWE yet, but he'll get there eventually. So we end up spying on a conversation or a shouting match between Paige and Emma, and they're basically arguing over the fact that Paige got inadvertently hit with a clothesline by Emma, and Paige thinks it was done on purpose. Emma swears up and down that she didn't do it on purpose. It was an absolute accident. Paige is not buying it whatsoever. So she basically says she doesn't like jokes, and if you put your nose in my business, I'll rip it off. And Paige walks away, and Emma just looks up and says, there's really something wrong with that girl. Still building the seeds, building the ladder leading to the Paige and Emma battle we're going to get down the road. But what I think is going to end up happening, to be totally honest, I can't say it yet because it would blow the finish of next week's match. Let's just say I see a 6-diva tag match in the near future, and that's all I'm going to say. So, we get another matchup, this time another squash. Travis Tyler and Troy McClain, no relation to Troy McClure. You might remember him from such jobber matches as this one, and probably one somewhere down the road. They're facing off against the NXT Tag Team Champions, Rick Victor and Connor O'Brien, the Ascension. Once again, this is another reason why I think that these squash matches, they're okay. This isn't Superstars, this is NXT. They only have an hour, and in this case, Hulu says they only have 43 minutes. So, basically, they waste this so many times. There's really not a challenger for them at this moment. But I'll talk about that in a second. So, Tyler gets nailed with the STO by Rick Victor. How appropriate, given the fact that Victor kind of looks like Christopher Daniels with hair. And tagging to Connor O'Brien, he comes in, nails a flapjack, tagging to Victor, and they do a cross whip, clotheslining him with his own arms, and then nail followed man 1, 2, 3, and basically Victor gets the pin. You didn't even see McClain in the ring at all, so yeah, that was it. Another reason I really believe you should take the primetime players and send them down to work with the Ascension. I would have said the Usos, but they've got a nice push in WWE right now. We'll actually talk about them in a little bit. And you don't want to bring down 3-man band because they're heels, so the only thing you really can do is bring out the primetime players. The primetime players or the Tons of Funk. They're not really doing anything on television at all right now, so Tons of Funk are the primetime players. And given the fact that Tons of Funk already has A-Train, or whatever you want to call him, Sweet Tea, I guess, in this case, since he's on commentary every once in a while, you might as well bring down Brodus Clay, and then they can do the tag match against the Ascension. I think the Ascension matches up really well against the primetime players. Victor and Darren Young are similar in size, and Connor O'Brien can actually be put to the test by Titus O'Neil. That'd be really awesome, and they both have O in their name. So, yeah, we could do that. Honestly, that would work really well. And the setup of Tons of Funk against the Ascension work really well as well, because Brodus and Sweet Tea can work really well with, I don't know why I called him A-Train, it's Tensai, long day. So yeah, Tensai and Brodus Clay can work really well with both O'Brien and Victor. So yeah, bring a new team down to face off with the Ascension. I mean, you could throw together the team that I want to see, Xavier Woods and Mojo Rawley. Wow, that's what we call a segue, folks, because Mojo Rawley's in entertaining us next with our next contest. He's facing off against somebody look rather familiar to me. And someone should look rather familiar to you guys as well. You guys would know him as maybe Gavin, or Sean, or if you're a Toronto indie fan, you would know him as Sean Spears. Yes, he's making his NXT re-debut as Ty, spelled T-Y-E, Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger taking on Mojo Rawley. And Rowley, of course, is the kid from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And Mojo Rawley is the crazy, insane worker that kind of reminds me of... do you remember... It's funny, okay. You remember they did the UPW gimmick on television? It was on, like, Discovery Channel when when the world was introduced to John Cena. Yeah, they actually had one of the Bell brothers, not the one that got destroyed by Perry Saturn on national television. I believe it was Sunday Night Heat, if I remember correctly. It was not the Bell brothers. I don't know why I'm talking about him. Matt Hall, Psycho Matt Hall, and he kind of reminds me of Psycho Matt Hall, to be totally honest. But he's got Percy Jackson's gimmick, weirdly enough, like a more like extreme version of Percy Jackson's gimmick. He's like always on at all times. It always looks like he's on every single drug, and he's on everything except for roller skates. So yeah, and including roller skates in this case. But yeah, Raleigh teaming up with Xavier Woods, I think would be an interesting tag team, and I think that'd actually be a good idea, to be totally honest. So, we come back to live action, and Dillinger's got a chin locked on with a knee not in between the lower back, and actually between the shoulder blades. So Mojo punches his way out, and a drop toe hold stops him, locks on a crossface, makes a cover, no pin. So he pulls back on Mojo's nose. Mojo ends up getting back to his feet, scoop slam, charges into the corner, and whips him in, and a big splash, whips him to the opposite corner, big splash in the corner, and he nails, I'm not going to lie, he nails Naomi's rear view, and he does a leaping seated splash for the 3 count, the earthquake, if you want to call it that, with a lot more elevation. It gets the 3. Okay, not sold on Mojo yet. Give it time, I guess. Maybe he'll grow on me, kind of like Biggie Langston did. But, yeah, I'm not really sold on Mojo. He's got good charisma, I'll say that right now, but I don't like him very much in the ring yet. Give it time. We got our main event up next, and, yeah, Pop's all about Luke Harper this week, because Luke Harper gets 2 singles matches, and they both were awesome. So, Luke Harper taking on Cassius Ohno, or Cassius Ohno, depending on who calls your match. And we found out before this match that next week, in addition to Bayley and Charlotte against the BFFs, we're going to get ourselves a 2 out of 3 falls matchup between Adrian Neville and Corey Graves. And that makes Owen extremely happy, because that's going to be really fun and awesome to call. So, Ohno makes his return, and apparently while I was gone, him and Harper actually had a match, and apparently it was good. Obviously, it's those two, so why wouldn't it be? And Harper went over, so yeah, basically Ohno was looking for revenge because the Wyatt family put him on the shelf before he came back for this match. So yeah, he's had a lot of problems with Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this. So this is Cassius Ohno's return to NXT, and a lot of people were saying he was taken off television indefinitely because of his attitude, and just so many like backstage things that we should not know about, but we seem to anyway, because we're the IWC, so that's how it works. So yeah, this match was good. A good stiff match between the former Big Rig Brody Lee and the former Chris Hero. So yeah, this match was really good. We go back to live action, and Hero nails the leaping senton, makes a cover 1-2, and Harper kicks out. So whip in reversed. He goes over the top, and he lands on the ring apron. A big boot knocks Ohno to the floor. So he comes back in right at 9, and it breaks the count. So 3 huge elbow drops, makes a cover 1-2, and again, Ohno kicks out. So whip in, and he charges in, and he misses the charge. Ohno rolls him up with a stack 1-2 and a kick out. So nice stiff uppercut on Ohno. Harper goes into the gator roll. Ohno punches his way out of it, and a knee strike out of it as well, and he gets caught with a slingshot to the middle rope that Harper's been using a lot lately. So he comes off the ropes. Ohno nails Harper with a one-footed drop kick, and he ducks the clothesline. Big right hand from Harper. pushes him into the ropes, and Ono nails him with a hook and clothesline, and drop kick to the side of the head while he's down. He charges in, and a big forearm in the corner. He goes up top, nails Luke Harper with the flying guillotine. Sorry, I'm a Chaos fan, so that's how it works. The Buff Blockbuster, if you want to call it that. So, yeah. Or somersault, top rope somersault neck breaker. Depending on who's calling your match. If I'm calling your match, it's a flying guillotine. So, he goes for a reverse neck breaker. It gets blocked, and Harper lays him out with the truck stop, which is the spinning side slam with a layout, and truck stop plants him, but he doesn't go for a cover. Harper nails a big boot. Ono kicks out at 2. He charges in with an elbow up, and out of nowhere, Ono nails the KO, which, the nice stiff rolling elbow. 1, 2, and Harper barely kicks away. So he kicks him into the side of the head, comes off the ropes. Harper plants him with a discus lariat. 1, 2, 3, and Harper wins the match. So yeah, really good contest to end NXT. And like I said, not the last time we hear from Luke Harper in singles action on this video. So yeah, like I said, Alexander Rusev is going to be facing off against Scott Dawson very, very soon. Obviously, that has to be the only other way you can go because Rusev took out Sylvester Lefort. Lefort wants payback. Payback will be in the hands of Scott Dawson. That's what the smart money is on. Leo Kruger hopefully getting himself back in contention for the NXT Championship, currently held by Bo Dallas, who is going to be off television for a bit. Paige and Emma still leading towards a match somewhere down the line. The BFFs trying to recruit Bayley. Charlotte takes offense to this. Sets up a match for next week. That's fine. The Ascension squash way too much. So yeah, we're going to get, hopefully bring in primetime players and tons of funk to work with the Ascension. Mojo Rawley has an okay match with Shawn Spears. Ty Dillinger, sorry. And yeah, I'm still not sold on Mojo, but it was alright. Ono and Harper, excellent stiff match. Very enjoyable, so yeah. That was NXT, and that was a good show, actually. Let's talk SmackDown, shall we? So CM Punk starts the show out, actually. We found out on Twitter via Vicky Guerrero that that's exactly what's going to happen. Punk comes out and says the Wyatts seem to have a problem. Their problem is the best in the world. I don't really know why I was a target, and I simply don't care. I'm here tonight to fight. I'm not standing down. I'm not going away. See, I may be outnumbered, but I'll never be outgunned. I like this. Punk's been used that a lot lately, actually. So why don't we do this right here and right now? Let's fight. I'm going to be here all night long, and I'm not leaving until you guys show up, so I can kick you in your face. Curtis Axel's music hits. Axel comes out. He basically says the Wyatts can wait in line because we have some unfinished business to take care of. Because of you, Paul Heyman is in a European hospital bed. And Vicky has granted me a match against you. And it starts right now. So we get our first match to open up the show. CM Punk against the Intercontinental Champion that never defends his title, Curtis Axel. So Axel tosses Punk to the floor. And he kicks the leg out from under him, sends him back first on the ring apron. So he front suplexes him across the barricade, like hanging him out to dry. When we come back to live action, he goes for the go-to-sleep, does Punk. It gets countered. Axel goes to the floor to regroup. So a baseball slide dropkick sends Axel down, toss him back in. Axel goes back out, break momentum yet again. So he picks up Punk and drives him hard into the barricade on the floor. Toss him in, 1-2, and Punk kicks out. So he does the 3 driving elbows, makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. A very unique side backbreaker and the Bret Hart elbow for 2. Now, everyone knows I am a very huge Kurt Hennig fan, and obviously I'm going to support his son. But he wrestles not necessarily like his dad, he wrestles more like Bret Hart, which is really weird, because he did the side backbreaker, it's the first time I've seen him do it, and he does the Bret Hart elbows on a regular basis. I mean, the only thing he's missing is the sharpshooter, but to his credit, he did the kick out the leg backflip sell that Hennig used to do all the time. So, yeah, kudos to him for doing that. He does the perfect plex. He does the somersault neck snap. He didn't do it in this match, but yeah, he's trying to distance himself, even though he's still using the name, away from his dad's trademark offense. So yeah, we'll see if that goes, even though he did use the perfect plex tonight, like I said. So after the Bret Hart elbow, Punk kicks the knee of Axel, just a glancing blow, but just enough to cause some pain. Whip in reverse, he charges in, he gets the boot up. Punk goes for the springboard into the 180 flying body press, and Axel ducks out of the way. Axel takes him down with a nice snap clothesline, 1-2, and a kick out. So he locks on a modified crossface without the arm trap. So it's just basically a crossface to the side. So he goes for a backdrop suplex. He gets countered and ducks the clothesline. High leg lariat from Punk. He's finally starting to get momentum. Clothesline off the ropes and a swing neck breaker, 1-2, and a kick out. Running knee, short arm clothesline, goes up to the top with a savage elbow, and lights go out. And we see the very familiar interruption from the Wyatt family. When the lights come back on, Curtis Axel nails Punk in the back of the head with a clothesline. Goes for the perfect plex, 1-2, Punk kicks out. So he goes for the hatchet. Sorry, my eyes are bothering me. And he gets turned into a backslide. Backslide just long enough to pick him up for the go to sleep, 1-2-3. The lights go out again. But not before Bray Wyatt's laughter, his crazy, creepy, insane laughter is heard over the PA system throughout the arena. It's like reverberating around, kind of like the ghost house in the Haunted Mansion. Lights go out. He blows out the lantern again, and that's the end of the segment. So yeah, once again, continuing this feud with the Wyatt family against CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. But the Daniel Bryan stuff will not be later in the show. So Axel really need to have a nice little showing against Punk, since he's kind of a man without an army right now, given the fact that obviously Ryback's not going to help him, and Brock Lesnar's not going to help him. Heyman's on the shelf right now selling the injuries. He may be on Raw on Monday, I don't know, potentially. Yeah, so Axel's kind of by himself and still has that championship that he needs to lose sooner rather than later. Punk, like I said, just kind of a tune-up match is what it was. It was okay for what it was. Nice back and forth, actually. A good match. So, let's do a six-man. Our next match is a three-man band against the Usos and R-Truth. And in this match, I finally realized something. Finally realized something awesome. One of the Usos has a tattoo on their chest. Jey Uso has a tattoo on his chest. I couldn't tell what it said. He has a tattoo on his chest. And you know what that means? I can tell them apart finally. So it makes the recaps a lot easier to do. So they hit the double slingshot suplex on Jimmy Uso. Leaping stomp by Drew McIntyre. So they pound away. Tag in and the double backdrop suplex into a nice reverse neckbreaker from Heath Slater. And Jay makes a save. So Heath locks on a chin lock. Jimmy elbows his way out. Heath with a scoop slam into a float over by Jimmy. Catches the foot, spun around, enziguri kick. So Jinder Mahal gets tagged in, and he rightfully knocks Jey Uso off the apron. Full Nelson bomb from Jimmy in the ring, and tagging R-Truth. Truth comes in like a house of fire. Clothesline, duck the clothesline. High leg lariat on Jinder. He nails the Osaka Street Cutter, and Heath Slater makes the save. He gets dumped to the floor. Drew McIntyre gets sent to the floor. Tandem Samoan suicide dive by the Usos, and Drew gets caught off the ropes with the little Jimmy 1-2-3. So yeah, hot finish to the match. A little different than normal. Normally we would have had a tag match. Apparently on the app it was made into a six-man with Truth. So yeah, Truth is a hometown boy given the fact that tonight's SmackDown was in Charlotte. So yes, because it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's where Truth is from. So yeah, Truth had to get a nice little win in Charlotte. So yeah, big win for Truth. Our next match is a Divas Tag Team match. The Funkadactyls against the cute and crazy and current Divas champion AJ Lee and her bodyguard Tamina Snuka. So yeah, Naomi's fine in the ring. Cameron needs some work, honestly. So Naomi does a front flip over the top rope, lands on the ring apron, and she goes for a drop kick. She gets caught, and she gets dumped to the floor by Tamina. So tosses her back and makes cover 1 count only. So tagging to AJ, locks on the guillotine choke on Naomi. So she punches her way out, and a backdrop over on AJ. AJ with a single leg, and she gets caught with an enziguri kick. Looked nice, by the way. Tagging to Cameron, she comes in with a clothesline and 2 low drop kicks. They just look bad. Whip in reverse and a crossbody off the ropes on AJ 1-2, and AJ kicks out. So a charge miss, tag into Tamina, and she ducks the clothesline, and actually Cameron nails a really nice wheelbarrow into a bulldog, 1-2, and a kick out. So short whip into an elbow, goes to the middle rope, gets caught with a swinging powerbomb. Naomi makes the save, forearm on the Divas champion. Tamina goes down, 2 headbutts, and the trademark Superfly coconut butt. Tagging to AJ, locks in the Black Widow. That's the end. Yeah, less said about this match, the better. Naomi's fine in the ring. AJ and Tamina are fine in the ring. Cameron is not good in the ring. Yeah, she needs to go back to developmental. Sorry, I know that obviously that the Funkadactyls are over, given the fact that it is Total Divas starting tomorrow, actually. Total Divas starting back tomorrow next season. So, yeah, I understand why they're over for that. But, yeah, Cameron's not good in the ring. So, yeah, let Naomi work. Let Cameron be her, like, manager or second, or depending on how you want to do it. And then you can do it that way. And then maybe she and, like, JoJo can do something somewhere down the road. So, yeah, that was fun. So, we get Alberto Del Rio coming out. And he basically says that he's simply better because he's Mexican. Okay. The title was stolen from me by John Cena. He's a thief, walking around with something he does not deserve. At Hell in a Cell, I had a sickness. I was sick. I had a fever. My knee, my elbow, my neck, all of those items were hurt. You see, the doctors begged me not to compete, but I begged them back, and I said, you know what, I have to wrestle. I have to wrestle John Cena tonight. Unlike you lazy Americans who would have called in sick, but I simply have Mexican pride. And once I beat John Cena, I can firmly say the champ is here. Here comes Cena. He comes out with the World Heavyweight Championship, and Cena does some sophomore jarbs as usual. Jarbs? That's not even a word. It took our jarbs. Jabs, sophomore jabs at ADR, and Del Rio says, everything is a joke for me, John. Leave my show right now. And Cena says, you know what, you want to leave once you make me. He's like, I'm 2 feet away. Let's make this rematch tonight on SmackDown. Let's call out a ref, and let's get this on tonight. And I want to get a doctor to come back to watch when I break your arm in the center of the ring, when I take back my championship. Just like clockwork. Excuse me, Vicky comes out and says the rematch will not happen tonight. No, it'll happen in 2 weeks at Survivor Series. Because that's the best for business. Hate that line so much. John Cena says there's only 2 things that were best for business. 1, when you got fired. And 2, when you would shut the hell up. Very Chris Jericho out of Cena there. And Del Rio says, you know what, I never thought I'd say this, but Juanito is right. And Cena's like, yeah, Juanito is right. So Vicky doesn't like their insolence and is going to punish them. So John Cena is going to have a match later against Ryback. Goody gumdrops. And Del Rio wanted to open his mouth at the wrong time, so he's going to have a match up next against this man. And who comes out? The freaking Great Khali. Oh my god, why? I saw this and I was like, why do I have to recap this? I just don't want to. Khali with 6 elbows in the corner and the overhand chop. To ADR's credit in this match, he actually bumped around like a pinball for Khali, which I guess is the only thing you really can do, is basically just run into his arm. So Del Rio goes to the opposite corner, he gets seated on the turnbuckle, and an overhand chop knocks him to the outside. So a headbutt, and he whips him into the barricade, tosses Del Rio in, and he takes too long, he sidekicks him in the knee, and he ties his arm up in the rope, setting up with a cross arm breaker, obviously. He slams the arm in the canvas 2 separate occasions. He goes up in the middle turnbuckle, he dives off, and he catches the boot of Khali, and he charges in, there's an elbow, he charges in again, Khali with a big boot, and an overhand right, Del Rio goes to the floor again, tosses him back in, overhand chop, he puts him on the buckle yet again, and he goes for the cross arm breaker, this time in the rope, so of course we call for the break. So he picks him up, drops him, step up insecurity kick, and he locks in the cross arm breaker for the tap out. Less said about this match, the better. Del Rio needed to win this match, obviously, building momentum for his match against John Cena at Survivor Series. Great Khali needs to be off my television now. On the bright side, no Hornswoggle out at ringside for this, so that made me a happy guy, honestly. If I had anything out of this, I didn't have to see Hornswoggle. So we got our next match, and it was the match of the night, and once again, it involved our favorite truck driver turned redneck assassin, Luke Harper, taking on the MVP of the WWE, regardless of what freaking buy rates say, Daniel Bryan. So Bryan, of course, sporting the ponytail again, just like he did on Raw Monday night. So yeah, this time Harper goes for the gator roll, and he turns it into a front face lock. So Bryan punches his way out. He pushes him into the ropes and a clothesline, and he does that slingshot into the middle rope, as usual. Whip in, and he backdrops Harper over the top rope to the floor. Bryan nails the tope, sending him into the barricade. The yes kicks on the floor, finally gets stopped with a toss straight in the barricade. We come back to live action from commercial, and 2 stiff forearms in the corner. So he kicks him out of the corner, does Daniel Bryan, trying to fight his way out of the corner. He gets caught, and he gets beeled out of the corner halfway across the ring by Luke Harper. Harper with a running big boot, 1-2, and a kick out on Bryan. So he locks on a chin lock. Bryan elbows his way out, charge in. Bryan gets the boot up, and he kicks to the hamstring, and he goes for a boot, does Harper, and Bryan nails the Dragon Screw Leg Whip. He does it again, a second time, locks on the Indian Deathlock, and he rains down elbows on Luke Harper, and they look stiff as all get out. Makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So a big right hand stops the momentum of Daniel Bryan. Whip in, backflip, lands on his feet, comes off the rope, stuck the opponent's clothesline, and of course he nails the hooking clothesline off the ropes. And then the yes kicks, goes for the buzzsaw, gets caught, and plants him with a huge sit-out powerbomb. And 1-2, and Bryan again kicks out. So he goes to grab Bryan to pick him up again. He goes for the yes lock. Rowan hits the ring, and he starts pounding away. Bray Wyatt stands up finally from the rocking chair. They hold Bryan up for the sacrifice. Bray gets ready to enter the ring. He's standing on the ring apron. CM Punk slides under the bottom rope and squares off. He high kicks Harper in the head. Bryan drop kicks Rowan, and Bray ends up leaving to the back. He says, all things will come with time. Interesting. See what happens with that. So continuing our feud with the Wyatt family against Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. I think that's going to be the match at Survivor Series. It's going to be Harper and Rowan against Punk and Bryan. I don't know what that means for Bray Wyatt, though. See, what I would do, personally, if it was me, and this is no disrespect to Eric Rowan, I would do Bryan and Punk against Harper and Bray Wyatt at Survivor Series and let Rowan stand at ringside. That's what I would do, personally. And there's rumors there's going to be a new member of the Wyatt family somewhere down the road. So, interesting to see where that ends up going. So, yeah. Highlight of the night. Best match on the show. Really awesome, stiff match. Just like the match with Ono on NXT. So, we get our main event. Yay, John Cena and Ryback. So, yeah, I saw we had 20 minutes left, and I was like, well, we're going to go to commercial breaks twice. There's no way this is going to go. This match went less than 10 minutes, just like a normal house show main event that was somehow televised. Ryback with a shoulder block on Cena. High-velocity whip on Cena. He does it again. Finally makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Locks a front face lock into a bear hug. Turns into a side bear hug. Cena elbows his way out. Whip in, reverse, big shoulder, and he ducks the clothesline, shoulder block off the ropes, protobomb, goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, gets caught, spine buster, we've played this before, of course, goes for shell shock, and he gets countered into a DDT, so he goes for the AA, Ryback elbows his way out, and what does he do? He jackhammers John Cena, and credit to JBL for calling it a jackhammer. Still building the fact, that we are going to see Ryback and Goldberg at WrestleMania 30. I pretty much can guarantee the writing's on the wall. Way too many name drops in this match. He nails the jackhammer. Goldberg brought up by name, by the way. And just like I saw this coming from a mile away, and sure enough, it's exactly what happened. He goes for the meat hook, gets turned around into the STF, and he kind of like crawls to the ropes, and he inches over, and he grabs the bottom rope, called for the break. So he catches Cena off the ropes with a spear, and he calls for the powerbomb, and he goes for the powerbomb, duck out into the full Nelson neckbreaker. It was more like a half Nelson neckbreaker the way he hit it, to be totally honest. and 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes up top, flying body press on Ryback. He goes for the AA. Ryback grabs the ropes. He plants him with an over-the-shoulder power slam, either an Oklahoma Stampede or a British Bulldog style running power slam, called by Michael Cole after I said the same exact thing on my recap last week. Thank you, Michael Cole, for watching Pop. We appreciate your contribution to our viewership. So yeah, he charges in, he gets a boot up, so they trade blows. He comes off the ropes, Cena gets nailed with a meat hook, and he goes for the shell shock. He lands on his feet, AA, 1, 2, 3. Yay, John Cena wins again. Alright. So yeah, that was NXT and Smackdown for this week. So yeah, okay show for what it was. I like calling matches, so yeah, that was good. Interesting to see where we go from here. Obviously, I have absolutely zero interest in Big Show and Randy Orton on Survivor Series. So like I said, I'm probably going to skip Survivor Series. I'm not going to skip it completely. I'm not going to watch it live. I'm actually just doing the WWE Today Live podcast. It's the last one before Reunion, actually like the week before Reunion, so obviously I have to be there for it. So yeah, I'll recap Survivor Series the next day. So yeah, promise. Don't worry. I'll do that. On the 25th, we get a Survivor Series recap. So yeah. But yeah, business as usual. I hate all the internet rumors, and they probably are very true, to be totally honest, that WWE's blaming Daniel Bryan's involvement in the bad buy rate for SummerSlam, at least partially, and that really sucks because that put Bryan down to the mid-card again, and it's going to bring the Big Show back, because apparently everybody thinks that bigger guys, larger-than-life guys, need to be what's over in WWE. That's so far from the truth. I want you guys to vote with your dollar and not necessarily boycott Survivor Series, but just don't pay for it. Find another way to watch it, honestly. Because when it comes down to it, I'm not advocating like free like pay-per-view or stealing pay-per-view, stealing cable, or anything like that. No, I'm just saying find another way to watch it. Like go to a sports bar and watch it. Go to a friend's house and watch it. Don't pay money for this. Make this have a low buy rate so WWE can realize that Daniel Bryan wasn't the problem. Just like Big Daddy Donnie said on Facebook, the problem is it had a bad card aside from it. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But yeah. So yeah, it was okay for what it was. Raw, of course, we'll talk again on Monday night. Actually, it's going to be Tuesday at this rate because I got to work again on Monday night, which I love so much. Hopefully that'll be rectified with next week's schedule, with if any luck. I don't want to lose any hours, but obviously I don't want to work nights because it's too much of a hassle, especially on Monday. So, Raw recap will be coming on Tuesday, wrestling fans. That will be the next time you can join me on Tuesday. We'll talk NXT and Smackdown and Impact later next week as well. And AJ's movie reviews and verses are to come in the next couple of days. I've got a walkthrough of the Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh that's coming out tomorrow, so that's going to be planned out to go. So a lot of stuff still to come. I still have Halloween Horror Nights 24 speculation video to come out, and I still have Bill and Ted to post soon. So that will be coming sooner rather than later, and since a lot of people seem to want it, it'll come very soon. So in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you want to send me an email, your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions, it's SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. If you want to tweet me, you can. It's @SirOwenDisney. Or if you want to be my friend on Facebook, it is Owen Disney. In the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I have to say about that. Really? Hit the wrong button. You know why? Because I messed up my outro. Take 2. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that. I'm hitting pause. That's all I got to say about that.